Hey everybody, what's up? This is Dan, Dasani Merchant, checking in. I just had a couple thoughts, and I don't know where else to put those thoughts these days, so here we go. Give me one sec to reframe things. Alright. I don't know where to look. Probably right at the green dot. Okay, so today let's start from the backwards and work it forefront. I'm on the very last episode of The Madness, episode 8. Muncie Daniels playing Coleman Roger, and it's so good. I love the fact that it takes place in and around Philadelphia greater area, North Jersey, and what's that other? New York a little bit. There was a scene where they were walking around Times Squares, and I was like, where in Philly is this supposed to be? There was like screens, up, and everyone was looking up at the screens like, oh, breaking news. I'm like, are they trying to make us think that there's a like in Center City, Philly, there's this fucking Times Square situation, And the answer was no, because then he went down, took a train down back to Philly. Anyway, so this show's really good. It's kind of funny, like triple, like 3D five dimension chess with the whole like up the chain of who's really in charge of the murder, whatever. No spoilers, and also like funny kind of like it's like a black guy main character. Then you got the white supremacists who are the victims, kind of. But then you got it's like a and it's like he's like, I don't fucking care if you're a white supremacist. You got to help me. But it's not like unity, It's like obviously it's just like nuanced. It's cool. Also today I was watching The Final Destination, which is also can be as Final Destination 4. Never saw it before. It opens up very boldly with a racetrack, like a NASCAR fucking thing. I don't know where in the world. Very extremely brutal, mass death scene like all the Final Destination films. Hilarious. It actually had me like, I got up. I'm like, what the fuck? That's actually really gnarly. Whatever, neither here nor there, but this one actor, and it looked familiar, and I was like, who is that? Like, I posted something on my Instagram right before I deleted the app an hour later because of the world, hence kind of me being on YouTube right now. And it's the guy who played Bubba from Forrest Gump. He's a national treasure. I don't recall his name right now. Something Williamson, whatever. He's great. He has a funny scene where he's like, they walk in on him and he's literally hanging from his ceiling with like a classic noose, which is a crazy imagery. And then these two white kids walk in and they're like, get down from there. And it just breaks and he falls. And they catch him and he's like, I've been trying to kill myself all day. It's ridiculous. Because, in the movie, like, I don't know, it wasn't his turn yet, so he couldn't die, which is so dumb. That's like, that movie's concept is so silly. Like, if you escape death because you have a premonition, like, who's giving you the premonition? Like, if death is like a force, or like an entity, I guess more of a force in that movie franchise canon, who is giving you the advice? Like, who's giving you the visions? Is it like angels or something? Like, who did they ever explain that? Because like there's Death who like wants everyone to die in the mass event, but then like Devon Sawa in the first one, boink, he has a vision and he's like, oh, everybody off the plane. And then that happens literally word for word in like 7 more movies. But then like they get all these, like in the 4th one at least that I was just watching, I didn't finish it today yet, but he gets these like water spills on a newspaper and somehow darkens or lightens certain words, like a spill pattern, and it's like giving him clues about how to survive this. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, who's doing that? Who's doing that? Is it like the concept of evil versus the concept of goodness? It's like, I don't know if it's ever explained. Maybe I'll have to do a deep dive into those films. Anyway, what else was I watching? Last night I watched Subservience, the killer robot movie, that we have a lot of those now. Megan was the other one most recently. The childcare bot put into a home in a rough situation ends up killing someone, and then you realize AI is bad, and the whole time people are like literally treating robots and AI entities like less than dog shit, and you as a viewer, you're like, oh, I know that's gonna come back on them, but we all do it too. I very consciously am nice to Siri. And then my wife has this very clean theory that I'd like to mention that I don't know. Well, the way I interpreted it earlier today was it's 2025 and we as a society or whatever can't treat women like shit anymore. So good thing we have AI to fucking just bark orders at and call them a bitch if they get something wrong. It's a problem because ... Anyway, what else did I watch lately? The Madness I'm about to finish, and Carry On. Let's talk about Carry On. Carry On. Netflix. Very clearly a Christmas movie. By the end of it, the first thing that I thought was, okay, they're trying to be the next Die Hard is a Christmas movie, because it's there's no red, there's no green. People just say the word Christmas a couple times. There's a couple Christmas songs throughout, just because it takes place during Christmas time in America. But, it's not about Christmas. So they're trying to be how people retroactively realize that Die Hard was a Christmas movie and that became the cool fucking thing to say. And then that settled down and it just kind of is now. This is very consciously is trying to be that. Anyway, Jason Bateman, well, it's, I'm not the only one, I'm sure, who gets those confused. Patrick Bateman, Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman is the tall, dark, and the mysterious man in the shadows. There's clearly a heisty plot thing going on. Not a heist. It's not a robbery, but it's he's trying to get a fucking bag past customs. And then you have the do-gooder, the fucking clean cuts, all-American boy, played by Elton John, who played the actor who played Elton John, Aaron Tagerton. He's likable, I liked him as Elton John in that film. What was it called? Rocket Man. So I liked it. He's cool. He's fine. But it was weird because this made him kind of like a nothing fuck up kind of kid. But that's the character. Actors can do whatever they want in their roles. They can play whatever roles they want. Anyway, so he's this fail son, who's just trying to make it through the next day, and he's a fuck up, and he finds himself in a situation where he has to save the day. Jason Bateman. There's some hilarious parts. It's pretty good. It was good. Also, kind of when it ended, I know I told you my first thought when it ended was that it was all right, trying to be a Christmas. My main takeaway is that it's good. It was good. It was concise, the right people died, the right people lived. I don't know. It was actiony. It reminded me of that fucking movie kind of with Jake Gyllenhaal where he's just on the phone the whole time, He's a 911 guy. He's a 911 operator, and the whole movie is him making faces on the phone with a headset on. And then you realize things about his life and shit. I don't know. But this one was better than that. It is a lot of Taron Egerton's face close-ups at, talking to an earpiece and stuff. And oh, you know what I also kind of don't like, or whatever. I don't know if I like it or don't like it, because it's okay. So when in movies, this is inevitable. Movies and TV shows, when a character, I was going to say when a customer gets a text message, and it's important to the plot. What do you do, right? As a filmmaker or whatever, what do? You either, like, was a popular thing in like the early 2010s. They and I guess all of 2010s, the whole deck. They would have the text pop up on the screen, like this is the characters, like, ugh, and then you'd see what they were looking at up here. They're like, ooh, looking at their phone, and then you'd see a graphic of of the text there. And that was so corny, and then they would add sound effects and bloop, 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 bloop. And there's like a montage where it's like a rapid fire in a film. And you're just like, okay, I get it. There's a lot going on social media. And it's like, bling, 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 bling. Like, fuck you, shut up. But like when there's like a subtle plot point, like a plot device that happens that is in the form of a text message or a phone call or, a series of texts, like, you need to get him right now. Dad, like some shit like that. Like, you can see urgency of a moment. You can see who is whether it's like an unknown number, turn around, it's important. But I think the best thing that they can do is like a close-up of the phone. Because there was too much in The Madness, and then maybe some other stuff I watched lately where it was just kind of like this, like too far, like too far away. Like, you're just looking at the person's lap and like what's over there on the ground in front of them and their phone. And I don't know. I have good vision, I don't have any kind of corrective eyewear or anything. And I'm just like, when something like comes on the screen, I'm like, whoa. I got like run towards the television. You're like, what the hell? Pause it and like squint. I don't know. Don't do it like that. What the fuck else I watched? Subservience and Carry On last night. Was in bed because my wife is sleeping at her sister's house watching the dogs. And The Madness is amazing. I'm definitely forgetting something. I'm gonna pretend like I'm done with the video. Lounge and then see if it comes back to me. Okay. The other thing I was gonna talk about. It worked. So the other thing that I've been kind of watching in pieces and kind of just want to finish and then get into a lot more stuff on Tubi is this movie called Offstage Elements. And it's like maybe a decade old. I was reminded of it the other week when, I don't know, something came up in a conversation with a coworker, and I was like, ooh, wait a sec. Long story short, a bar I used to work at, you might know which one, depending on who you are. There was an era where there was a movie being filmed in it, And so who was doing a lot of the daytime matinee all ages shows where they would just need one person on staff to work the building and then one security person just to make sure no riff-raff came in off the street. It was me, and I worked one or two of the shoot days where I would just have to be quiet for like 6 hours, facilitate the bathroom or water for people. It was like really boring. Just be there as a representation of somebody who, see what the sun's doing right now? As somebody who worked there. Like a venue, if you rent out a venue, there's got to be at least one person representing the venue present during the event. So I never really knew what the hell it was. So I had to look it up through one of the people that I know was in it on IMDb. And it turns out they did makeup on it, but they also have kind of a big role. Jesus Christ, they have a big role in the film. So I found it that way, and the name of it is Offstage Elements, which I am almost done with the movie, and I don't even still know what that means. It's a Christian movie. It's about a band who kind of gets back together. It's very Philly, like Delco, South Jersey vibes, if that's your thing. A band gets back together after the singer survives testicular cancer, and since he survived, his whole vibe changed to loving God, because that's who saved his life. So the band is kind of struggling with the switch to that from just like rock, like South Jersey butt rock, to like Christian South Jersey butt rock. They change all the lyrics. I don't know. They don't do a lot of music in it, but they're struggling between the change and then they're like a little bit of success that they get. But then it just kind of like one of the band members like goes missing for a weekend, and they're just like worried for a scene. And then this guy has a haunted house in his basement, and there's no really explanation for that. And then it's just like a lot of disjointed scenes. But my favorite thing about it so far is that like you can, if you like watch it and listen to the writing, like every single scene will have a piece of writing that's so outrageously terrible, dare I say, like just disjointed thoughts. Like somebody blurted this script out in 1 minute, like, and never checked it, never ran it past anybody. And then all the actors getting the script are just like, they're only focused on if they can hold it together and act, because they're all just like local, I'm not talking shit. It's hard to be in a movie. I was in a movie and like every line would be, I was like the only person in this movie besides this other woman who we had scenes together in the film, but we never met. They were filmed like, separate days, and that was stupid. But like, I would just be fed every line by the guy who was making the movie, and I'd just repeat it. So I didn't have to remember anything. I'd have to show up to work, show up on set, not memorize anything. He would just be like, okay, now walk over there and say, what? It was like not dialogue heavy, but this is dialogue heavy, and these guys seem like all they were doing was just focusing on repeating the lines that they had to memorize. Nobody was checking about doing quality control. So this made me like realize that I think there's like a lot of this stuff on Tubi. So I'm going to get into Tubi. And I'm not going to be one of those like, yeah, let me review all the bullshit that people put their entire life savings and energy into on Tubi and call it a piece of shit. I don't want to do that. I just want to talk to my friends about what I've been doing. Because sometimes I get these bursts of, I want to do this, whatever this is. Sharing my stuff, sharing my life. And all the other apps are bullshit. They're all bullshit. Normally, maybe I would do something like this on Instagram, but you have so much pressure to keep it concise. And also, I just deleted it. So, stick with me. This is like, I might run it through iMovie and edit it a little bit, just so there's no burp, like sniffles and burps, and we'll see. Whoa, she just jumped. She just jumped up on the couch. That's my baby bitty buddy baby. What do you think, babe? What do you think of stuff? All right, we're going to watch a couple more TVs. We're going to watch TV together.
Bye.